What's going on, everyone? It's Jackson, time again for Endeavours. So it is the 12th of February. As always, if you'd like to jump straight to one endeavour that you're looking for, or if you want to skip stuff, just check the timestamps below. Also, the event has started, the Valentine's one, the Heart Day or whatever it's called. The Gone Pursuit is up, and I've done a video covering the event, how to get your tickets, the store stuff, and how to get companions if you don't have any yet. Unfortunately, I don't feel like it's worth doing a video for the Gone Pursuit, mainly because we've only got 6 days to do it. There's quite a few options to go through. That most of them are pretty easy though. I went through them in the event video, but by the time I do the recording and the editing, I think it's just going to be too long by the time it's out. Like, you'll only have a few days left to do it. I don't know, I just don't feel like it's worth it. If you'd rather that, let me know, and yeah, I probably can't do one this time, but in next Gone Pursuit, if it's only a short one, I'll probably do one then. But yeah, I just don't know. People don't usually watch that video much, so I just don't know how important it'll be. Okay, so with the endeavors themselves, I'm going to make a bit of a controversial decision here. Possibly, you let me know. But yeah, these two here, they're not worth doing. A group dungeon, you can't actually get your tickets from doing one of these. Even if I've actually tested this, I just tried to do it with a companion. It worked for this, but it didn't give me any tickets. So I'm gonna say don't do this one, because these three options, they're easier, they're less hassle, they're less work, and you can kind of do them on like a really new character. Whereas doing a group dungeon on a new character, a bit painful, a bit long. You can do it, but it's slow. And trying to kill a player at like a low level, unless you're fighting someone else at a low level. Just like, luckily, I can't see that working very well. You know, the stats you get at low level is kind of good, but you know, most good PvPers, you're not going to be able to kill them on something like that. I don't know. Anyway, so I'm just going to cover these three here because they are really easy. You can get them done. Like, this one here is going to need a bit of prep, but these two here, just so bloody easy. So I'll start with active skill styles first, because while you're doing these two, you can kind of do this one at the same time, depending on a few things. So the easiest ones to get, if you don't have any yet, is going to be through the scribing questline. There's two you want to look at. One is through World, Soul Magic, and Soul Trap. So what you're looking for is any skill that has this icon here indicates that there is a skill style that you can either get right now, or you've already got one. So I think first worth mentioning is a little while ago we had a Crown Store item that you could quote purchase unquote. It was free, but you had to have 2 max level characters, and if you did, it gave you a bunch of class skill styles that worked on them. So as an example, I think Soul Harvest, Concealed Weapon, and was it Impale for Nightblades that got it was like a purple version or something like that. You could put them on, and if, for example, you use Veiled Strike to kill enemies with a class skill, you could do both of these at the same time. And you don't need to kill enemies, you can kill critters for this as well, which is what I'll show you for this one. But you can do these both at the same time. So if you do have that, if you see there is these icons like this next to one of your skills, just check if you've got one to use, and you can do both of those at the same time. But yeah, if you are playing now and you didn't get them previously, there's no way right now to get them, unfortunately. I don't even know if they're going to come back. I hope they do, because yeah, I never actually got them on EU. I've only got them on NA though. Alright, so sorry, I was a bit carried away there, but Soul Trap, this is the easiest one to get if you don't have that though. So Awkward Purple, you do Second Era of Scribing, which you can find right here. So this little quest icon here, there'll be an NPC with a quest. All you got to do is talk to them, they'll open a portal, you go into this area. The quest probably takes like 3 or 5 minutes. You just have to kill a couple of like basic enemies, a couple of like Achinarchs, air Achinarchs, a couple of like inanimate armor dudes. There's a boss that you might have to fight, but you can literally run past them, so don't worry too much with that if you don't want to fight it. For directions on getting to this quest, you can do it in a couple of places. The only two I really recommend is either Deshan, going to Mage's Guild in Mournhold. If you have the Waystone, just use that. If not, you can use Home Tours and use Flaming Nyx Deluxe Garret for that. Or you can go to Stormhaven, to Wayrest, and go to the Mage's Guild here. you've got, again, Gardener House with Home Tools over here, or you've got the Wayshrine over here. This is probably the quickest way to get to this quest in the game, but yeah, it just depends on what you got. Once you do that quest, you will literally just get Soul Trap Orchid Purple, and this skill is unlocked by default as soon as you start a character, so you don't have to worry about skill points or anything. So all you do is, once that quest is done, just left click and you'll see the little paintbrush goes active there, and that's one skill you can activate for the endeavor. The other one is Vigor. You'll get Soothing Blue if you complete Wing of the Net. This does take a significantly longer amount of time, probably a few hours, maybe an hour if you're really quick. I have videos for the Scribing questline. I call them Scribing questline jog through. So yeah, maybe search those up if you want to watch them. They're quite long, but I don't skip anything, and I just show you how I would go about doing everything if I literally had no wayshrines unlocked or anything. So you can check out that if you want. But Vigor Blue, once you've done Netch, this is the better option, because Vigor, unlike Soul Trap, can be casted anywhere. You can literally just log in and start casting it a bunch of times. The only issue with Soul Trap is it requires a target. That's not a big deal though, because once you've got Soul Trap, you'll have something that you can use as a target in the form of a target dummy. So either you can go to somebody's guild hall or a house of your own if you've got a target dummy in there. Target skeletons, they cost a bit of gold, but you can get one for your own house. That is a thing. You probably just try and through guild stores if you've got a bit of gold. But if not, what you want to do is head to, not Apocrypha, Ivea, the Scholarium, and the Scholarium Wayshrine, because once you've got this skill style, you can use this in the Scholarium. I'll show you how. So once you've completed the second area of scribing, a room will unlock over here called the Training Room. Now, the first time you complete the quest and you're still in this area and you go over there, the door will be grayed out. If that happens, just leave, go somewhere else, and then come back to the Scholarium through that Wayshrine, and it should unlock. So this Training Room over here. What you got to do is just cast the Soul Trap Orchid Purple on this thing here, and just keep doing it over and over. And that's it. Simple as that. Now, there's one more thing I want to talk about with this. There's only one more thing that I think is worth it over anything else to get. The reason for that is its weakness to elements. This skill costs nothing. So in the future, you're probably going to get either a weekly endeavor or the Tamriel Tomes weekly challenges. There might be skill styles in there, and you're going to need to cast a lot more than 10, which is going to mean you're probably going to wreck your resources doing this, and you're just going to be slowed down a bit by that. In the long run, if you want to make it easier for yourself, if you've either got the Naj Koldish dungeon, which comes from the... you get it with the Season Pass, which is on sale right now, by the way, or you can do Fate of the Forgotten Prince, which is the main quest line for Gold Road through Westweald, which I guess is also on sale if you get the more expensive edition of the thing. It's only like $30 right now, which is pretty good. But yeah, either of these here gives you a version of weakness to elements, so you can use a skill style that doesn't cost any resources. It does need a target, but with that skill, it means that you can do any skill style option as fast as you can possibly do it. Literally, you're only stopped by the global cooldown, which I'd really, unless you like break the game, basically, I don't see any other way of making it go any quicker. So if you want to unlock it, yeah, the final quest of the Westweald main quest line, pretty easy to do, but it's vacated. And Naj Koldish, Vanquisher is just normal. You don't have to do that. So that's also relatively straightforward. More difficult than the main questline here, but it's a normal dungeon. There's no like DPS checks or anything on normal usually. So okay, so now let's talk about killing foes with class skills. Also relatively easy because every class starts with a single target spam ball of some kind, and what you can do is you can kill critters because they have 1 HP. The only thing that matters is making sure the last hit is from a class skill. As you can see by the tooltip, finish off foes. They're actually pretty on point with that. So as long as the last thing that it takes an enemy from 1 to 0 HP, or a critter, is from a class ability, that's all that matters. So one way to do this really easily is to go into one of the wings if you're going to use the Scholarium. These have critters in them, so you can come over here. There's like squirrels, snakes, all sorts of stuff. You can kill them with class skills, or just a class skill spammable, and that is one way. This isn't the only place to get critters, but this is a place I don't usually see many people come to, so usually there's some stuff to kill. So these 3 wings here, these 2 wings and this wing, so wing of the Griffin, wing of the Netch, wing of the Indrik, these have critters in them of some kind, and you can go in there and just kill them with your class abilities. If not, I'll show you a couple of other places that have critters in them that you can use. The Monkey's Rest is usually one of the best places to go. This is just northwest of Volcal Guard in Oridon. You've got this Wayshrine here. If you've got this, it's very quick to get there. If not, just start at Volcal Guard's Wayshrine, go northwest a bit, up here. You'll probably have to watch the cliff over here, but yeah, just come up here, get this Wayshrine, and you've got easy access to this spot here from that point. So another good option is this area located just next to Davon's Fine Steeds and Davon's Watch, located in Stonefalls. Again, a Wayshrine you start with as soon as you begin the game, so it's easy to get over here. So you just travel from the Wayshrine northeast a little bit. You'll find a bunch of spiders here that you can kill with class abilities too. One of the best locations for lots of critters though is Goat's Head Oasis, located here, sort of in central south Alakir Desert. So either Goat's Head Oasis or Devad's Chagrin over here will lead you pretty quick to this area. If you've never been to Alakir Desert, just use one of the houses here through home tours. If you need to know how that whole system works, just check the description. I've got a video that explains the whole thing. But you can use either of these houses here as like basically a Wayshrine. You can just travel over there and just head down here. And just unlock this stuff if you've never been here before. Last away though, let me show you where it was 1. This is usually where I like to go anytime class or weapon ability endeavors come up. The reason for that is it's instance, which means it's isolated from overland, so other players won't be able to see you in here. They won't be able to kill anything in here, which means no matter what, it's always ready to go as soon as you get in here. So it means you're not waiting around for stuff to respawn, which can be the case for some of the critter areas. What I do is I group all the skeevers together, just get enough for 10, and then I AoE them down with a class ability that deals AoE damage, preferably something that heals you at the same time, like Sap Essence as an example here. Because the skeevers, they are skeevers, but they're 100 skeevers is still a lot of stuff. So yeah, you can just do that, and that's a pretty straightforward way to get a bunch of like 10 kills quickly. And then all you have to do is just like go back out to the entrance, back here, and from wherever you came in from. Because if you travel in from a Wayshrine, you can just travel straight in here, and when you leave, it takes you back to that Wayshrine, so it's very, very convenient doing it that way anyway. So if you don't have this place yet, you can get here easily using the home tours system, using Gardener House over here. So travel to Gardener House, just like a Wayshrine, same thing, and you just go down here, head over this side, and Way Restores one's right here. And then you can just travel from a Wayshrine at that point anyway, so yeah. If you want to know some good class abilities to use for this, there's 3 I'd recommend. If you have a fully leveled Nightblade, Stat Essence is probably my favorite, because it hits everything around you and heals you for a flat amount plus 20% more for every enemy you hit. So with that many skeevers, it's like 200%. So yeah, it's 180%, something like that. Fucking crazy. Some other good ones though. If you have a Necromancer, you can go Bone Tyrant and get Death Scythe. This thing here is pretty busted too, because it does the same thing, except the only thing with this one is it hits everything in front of you. The third option, and is also really good, Aedric Spear, Puncturing Swipes, morph this, Puncturing Swipes, Puncturing Strikes, morph this to Puncturing Sweep, because it heals you for all the damage it does. So yeah, again, hits everything in front of you, but I think this one has a max target. Yeah, the 6 enemies is the maximum. They changed this recently. I don't like that they did that. But yeah, so you can just use this one as well. They're all very strong options here. And Strikes and Scythe, they're unlocked basically as soon as you start those class skill lines. So unlike Sap Essence, which takes ages to get, those two are like ready to go as soon as you basically begin. So yeah, it's really good that way too. And there we go, so just go to the exit. And we're out of here. Okay, option number 3. So deconstructing items with a woodworking table. Just like with yesterday, where we had the blacksmithing stuff, it's the same thing, except we're just looking for wood items. So the idea still stands. You can head over to a woodworking station and craft your own items for this. So you can go to any woodworking station, get some maple, some star materials, and just craft some items and deconstruct those. That's arguably the fastest way to do this. But you can do this without using any resources of your own, which I think is a pretty practical way to do it, right? Because why use your own stuff when you can just source them from somebody else? So what you want to do is, there's two ways. Either Imperial City, queue for this. This place will have bows, staves, and shields all over the floor, so you can just pick these up and deconstruct them. If you're below level 10 on this character that you want to try this on, I'll show you an alternate afterwards, which you just use White Gold Tower. It's the same thing, basically. So yeah, as soon as you get in, the areas will look a bit different, because depending on the alliance that you do this on, the areas will actually be different layouts. But the idea is the same. So you're finding staves, like these ones. Look for these weapon racks here with all stuff all over it. You want, so staves, bows, and shields. That's what you're looking for. So you got some shields over here. Over to this wall with the Argonian. Normally there's like 4 bows. Wow, we got really unlucky there. There's 2. So we'll take those. Shield over here and a shield over there. If you need more, because sometimes some of the things don't spawn, so you might have to run around a bit more, but I'll show you some other places that have some in this one. So come over here, you've got, this area usually has a shield on the floor, you can see it there. I think there's a couple of, yeah, I think that's it for that room. But over here, you've got some bows on this wall here. I think one of these can have a shield sometimes. What we do now is we go to the woodworking station and we go deconstruct one of your nightwood items that you just picked up, or maple or whatever it'll be. Just deconstruct those, and that's the endeavor done. Just cast Vigor one more time to get that one done. Now, if you don't find enough items to deconstruct in here, oh yeah, there's another thing of bows there that I missed. What you can do is you can just leave the Imperial City prison, the sewers, and come back. So all you have to do is go through this tunnel here, the longer one. Don't go through that way, that's out to the PvP Wild West. But look for this longer tunnel with the gate and just hit the exit. That will take you back out to Overland. So all you got to do is just queue for Imperial City a second time, and there'll be another batch of items that you need to pick up and do this again. So if you don't find enough stuff, just do that. Don't overcomplicate things. Okay, so the other option, if you're below level 10, just go to the Cyrodiil zone here and go to White Gold Tower. That's what you're looking for. In here, you'll find shields littered all over the ground that you can deconstruct as well. And a couple of bows and staves in like a room on the side. You're not finding anything in here. You're literally just running around and picking up stuff. There's shield there. I think there's another shield in this room, isn't there? When you get in. Yeah, so shield. Usually, yeah, there's a shield on the weapon rack here. A bunch of these other bodies will have shields as well that you can deconstruct. And yeah, if you've checked everything in here... Also, there's critters in here. If you want to kill them with class skills, you can do that too. Go in here, there's a couple of shields there. Go through the trophy vault here. Once you do, you'll see on these tables here, you'll find some stuff, there'll be a shield there. I think there's a bow either over here. Yeah, there's a bow there. Got another shield there that you can grab. So yeah, if you need some more stuff, just remember you can do the same thing as with Imperial City. You can just leave, come back, and then everything should reset. If you need a crafting station, unfortunately, unlike Imperial Sewers, there's none in this area. What you want to do instead to speed it up, if you're in a city already, you can just go to the woodworking station if it's nearby. But if you're in the middle of nowhere when you've done this, just go to the nearest way shrine and then you can head to, or you can travel to it with gold as well if you want to do that. But you can just head to Halls of Fabrication. Once you get inside, there will be a woodworking station in here. So Halls of Fabrication specifically, not too important. Just any trial that's an instance area, because naturally these areas, once you leave through the exit, it takes you back to where you came in from. So yeah, it'll take you back to the way shrine, so it's really convenient. But yeah, you can use any trial as long as you own the DLC. All the other ones are pay gated, so this one here, at least everybody can use it. So yeah, same thing. Go to Deconstruct, get your apparel here, and then just go nuts and deconstruct that stuff. And that's everything. So yeah, if you Look, I'm not going to go through the other two. There's no reason to. I don't think. Like, if you can't do these ones well, then I really don't feel like you're going to be able to do a group dungeon well anyway, right? Because you kind of need to kill stuff, so, and you need to cast skills. I don't know. Yeah, you tell me. But I feel like that's more than enough for today's dailies. For the same amount of seals, right? It's not worth your time. I don't think. Yeah, your time is too valuable for that shit. What about that? How about that one? All right. Any questions? You know the drill. Just give me a holler. If you have any dramas, or if there's anything you want to add of your own, go for it. But yeah, I'll leave it there. So thanks everyone for watching. Thanks for your support as always. Wish you all well with the event and all that, and I'll see you for the next one.